Good evening, ladies and gentlemen out there in YouTube land. I am Deleted Scenes, here being American and YouTube Ronin. I'd like to welcome you to tonight's episode of Live from Sparkwood in 21. Twin Peaks, The Part 10. Laura is the one. Joining me on this journey as we rewatch this cult classic television series created by David Lynch and Mark Frost. Last call, Troy Pacelli.
Hello.
Netters Network.
Good evening.
And Aged Boomer.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, that's the proper way to say it. Yes. I didn't think I'd make it. Okay, here I am.
Yeah, I mean, for completely separate reasons, we were running a little bit behind, so you did not actually technically end up being late.
Yes. What was it? Breaker bush, is that what it's called, or something? Pedal bush. Yeah, that's what it is. But
The switch for your brake lights wasn't turning off.
Yeah,
right?
Basically, it's little plastic pieces were on the guy said, see if there are these little plastic pieces. I'm like, oh yeah, there they are.
I'm telling you, I see that as a feature, not a bug. If it because then your brake lights are always on, and that guy that's tailgating you better back off, or he's going to crash into you, and it's going to be his fault.
Yep,
exactly. Not my fault, your fault. That's what I would say.
Exactly. Well, unless he's a lawyer, then he says we'll go to court and we'll decide how much of it is my fault and how much of it's your fault. Anyway.
All right. I would like to say hello to everyone joining us in the chat, including those who are following along on Twitter. I cannot see you, but I know that you're there. First one who was here at 5:59 p.m. Oh my God, that's early. JPRPH1, channel member and friend of the channel.
Awesome.
FK8C 2005, sometimes known as Tim. The tired midnight blogger himself, Curtis Selby, another channel member. All right, scrolling down. Faithful Blue Wrench, channel member. The Bird Woman of YouTube, watch out for her second channel. Fluff Check Productions, Connie Clary. Enigma Severus in the house. Host of Films with Friends, the creator of the 10-word review, Big Out presents. Emoji Queen, Lady Mist. He's scrolling as fast as he can. Joining us tonight, once again, Geek Flag with Nate Knows, 1973. Always good to see Nate in the chat. Mark Mounikoff. Qapla'. All right. I think that is everyone. This is the water and the swell. Drink well and descend into guitar.
Oh gosh, here we go again.
It's dark as the white of the eyes and the dishonor within. Oh boy. Well, it was the most popular episode, so
Was that a lost Walt Whitman poem?
It is. Yes, actually. Yeah. All right. Well, last week's episode was
weird.
Well,
what I referred to as a yes.
Yeah, no, they're all weird. We know that.
Yeah, they're all weird, and but But last week's episode was what I would refer to as a shoe leather episode. You know, we're advancing certain plots in the way that we're kind of getting everybody. All right, how shall I put this? We're starting to connect the dots. Things are starting to connect, and we did find out, unfortunately, that the body with the missing head is our old friend Major Garland Briggs. Yeah, not happy about that, and we're going to be going into that in this episode. However, his body is younger than he should be. So we know there's some timey-wimey stuff going on. We know that Matthew Lillard's character, who's a suspect now in Major Briggs' murder as the murder of the other body, who's Ruth, that's her name. Someone remind me.
Which one? Which character?
The body that is found with Major Briggs.
Oh, damn it. Trying to remember. I don't know. I'll look it up.
Well, anyway, we have that investigation going on by the locals. The FBI, in the guise of Gordon, Albert, Tammy, and Diane, are now also investigating. Well, and the military, because Major Briggs was still active. So you have the other character's name, I can't remember, the tall, redheaded lieutenant. Meanwhile, back in the world of Twin Peaks, they've received and they, meaning the sheriff's department, has received an odd decoded message, which turns out to be from Major Briggs, and it is actually decoded by Bobby. So he's showing off that he's kind of a chip off the old block after all. He's got a touch of that little Jedi thing that his dad had. So
Jedi.
He's got
that's how I call him. He said, just give him his father's lightsaber and get it over with. I think he's here's my thought on this.
So I think we've identified that people like Laura, Sarah, probably, much to his detriment, Leland, Cooper, they're definitely in connection with the spirit realm. Now, I would argue that Garland is, or was, I should say, less of a sensitive in that way, and more of a more analytical. He was only in touch with these supernatural elements because of analysis. He didn't have the sense. He didn't have the, direct connection, but he had the ability to believe and investigate and uncover, kind of like, I would say kind of like, the dude from the X-Files, he's the Mulder, he wasn't a psychic or anything, but he believed in the abilities and, the supernatural and stuff. And he followed the investigation where it took him, uncovered the evidence, and put it together. let's face it, he worked in conjunction. Garland, not Mulder. Worked well. I don't know. Actually, maybe Mulder too. Worked in conjunction with Project Blue Book, and well, specifically the Blue Rose cases and so forth. You know. So anyway, just wanted to get my 2 cents in on that one. And yes, you were right. It was Ruth. Her name was Ruth.
Ruth.
The one that Shaggy was shacking up with.
It's funny
Well-
to think.
Go ahead, Boomer.
No, I was just gonna say it's like Shaggy's on Twin Peaks.
Yes, exactly.
whatever-
Kind
Kind
of makes sense, you know.
Kind of fits, doesn't it?
Some of the other work that he's done, I'm thinking in particular, I mean, obviously the Scream movies, but I'm
Right.
really thinking the American remake of The Bridge.
The Bridge.
And he was in
TV
that
show.
fascinating series. Very dark, but pretty well done. There's also, I think there's a few different versions of it. But interesting show. Plays a recovering drug addict, newspaper reporter is trying to get his life and career back together. But interesting character. The Bridge, yeah. Unless I have the name wrong, I think that was the name. The Bridge or the Tunnel or something like that. Yeah. Not to go off on a tangent. Anywho.
Yeah. So I will give the I actually don't see anybody here in the chat that probably needs this trigger warning, but I feel like we should do trigger warnings anyway because 2024.
Okay. Nobody in their chat has that mamby-pamby, okay?
I agree with you, but I also want to, be considerate to newcomers and those who might come in the future and so forth. But even at the time that this episode aired, it caused some ruffles to be feathered, or however you want to say it. And I think those same individuals would be even more triggered these days because certain people go out of their way to actually, I want to make sure that your voices are heard because I am not triggered. So I had to clear a comment for Nate over on my chat. But yeah, there is a well, let me put it this way. There is a question of consent. And we can certainly talk about that, after the episode. It might actually be a fun conversation to have within reason. But I would encourage everybody to take it in the spirit it's intended and not to read too much into it. As with so many other things, just enjoy the show first. Then we can analyze it.
First, I want to know what ice cream Connie Claire is making ice cream cone of. Because she says in my chat that she was making ice cream cone. So now I'm curious.
I'm guessing Rocky Road.
I love Rocky Road. So go and buy another half a gallon, baby.
Don't get us another strike.
Yeah, I know, right?
Remember Heavenly Hash? Do they still make Heavenly Hash anymore?
I make a pretty heavenly hash.
He does.
Ice cream
Bacon
flavor.
spam.
Oh, that doesn't sound very good.
What?
Potatoes and spam.
Oh,
and-
it had like I think it had walnuts in it. That was one of the weird things in it. Or was it almonds? It was something.
Oh, this is an
it's
ice
sort
cream
of-
flavor.
It's sort
Okay.
of like a Rocky Road. Maybe it's in the Rocky Road family, but I remember they used to call it Heavenly Hash.
Says
Yeah.
Nate is saying even Matt Smith just said he's sick of trigger warnings, so I don't think they should be on film. Yeah, there actually is a movie in wide release right now that does have a trigger warning at the beginning of it.
I wanna see
Called
that movie.
I love
called,
Mark.
Blink
Called what?
Twice. Blink
What?
Twice. is the one that has the trigger warning on it.
Well, that's
not
nice.
not the movie that's actually called Trigger Warning, but the movie Blink Twice actually has a trigger warning on it. So.
I love that Mark always brings things back around to the Second Amendment. Trigger warnings are like trigger creep. Yes, I suppose that is true. And I do feel that they are starting to get well and truly out of hand.
Oh, you want to know ridiculous?
I do.
There's a site that I go to because it's amusing stories. It's called Not Always Right. And I have tabs for Not Always Right, Not Always Working. What was it? Then they got ones about, family. So, what was it? Not always romantic, not always related, not always healthy. So you just, they got different ones there. And they're all basically stories that happen in the workplace or, at home or whatever, or in school, or even at the doctor's office. And they're just little anecdotes, this had happened, sharing with people. Almost every single one of them has now got some sort of stupid trigger warning at the beginning of it. Warning, possible death. Warning, grossness. It's, you know?
I mean, honestly, this is what I said. I'm getting sick. What was it I said during the coof? I said, remember how John Travolta was in that movie about the kid that had the autoimmune disease and everybody in the world had a dress in a plastic suit? Oh, no, wait a minute. That's not what it was about, because that's not how it works.
The boy in the plastic bubble, yeah.
Exactly. The boy was in the plastic bubble,
Yeah.
not the rest of the freaking world.
Right?
Hey, I'm telling you, you're going to have to do a Monday night rewatch of that at some point. Unless you've already done it on
DVD.
What?
I don't know if I have or not, but I've got it on DVD.
There's the boy in the plastic bubble. I don't know what the other one would be. What's the one that had what was it? George Kennedy and the Rabid Skunk. That was a made for TV movie.
Don't know that one. But you can do another one about a disease thing. I forget what it's called, but like this whole town has some sort of
The Andromeda Strain.
yeah, something like that. Yeah.
The Andromeda Strain would probably be a good one.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Actually, I think if I'm going to do it, I'd do Andromeda Strain first so that people can drop out if they don't want to watch The Boy in the Plastic Bubble.
Well, the point is, though, is that I think Arthur Kennedy gets bit by the rabid skunk, and then he starts hallucinating the evil rabid skunk after him. Or George Kennedy.
See, I think it would be even funnier to have someone get bit by a rabid skunk, and then they start going around with really bad flatulence.
It smells like skunk.
Yes.
A skunk like you.
And then they start turning black
I'm sorry.
white.
For the trigger warning.
Did Connie Cleary ever say what this flavor was?
She
No.
did. Vanilla right now. Next time, chocolate and vanilla with
Cinnamon.
Cinnamon
Cinnamon.
sounds nice.
That sounds really yum.
And I have some coffee chip Haagen-Dazs here, so I'm good.
I'm eating cheese crackers.
Nice.
I did not know that there was a Klingon word for ice cream. That had to have come out of one of the because I don't remember that in the dictionary.
What is the word for ice cream?
Nim Kitchar Hob. I had no idea.
Hey, my Klingon name is actually in the Klingon dictionary.
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Yes, it
I'm
is.
wondering what the Klingons would eat for sweets.
They have a candied or caramelized version of gach, which honestly I think was just a Easter egg nod to gummy worms.
Oh, yikes.
Is Rokeg blood pie, is that Klingon?
Yes, Rokeg blood pie is another one. Although Rokeg blood pie is actually served as a main course and as a dessert. So you can think of it as a meat pie or a sweet pie. There are two different kinds, and I've made both. Yes, Yooch is chocolate.
All right, Nate. Eats chocolate. Okay, Nate has a question. What number is tonight's episode? It
Number
is
10.
episode 10. It is episode number 10. And if you are watching on the disc, it is the last episode on disc number 4.
I was almost expecting Alec Baldwin to come in and say, "F you, that's the number episode it is."
I was listening to Glengarry again because I have an audio version of it with Joe Montana.
That's a great
and,
addition.
Richard
Dreyfuss. Yes.
Yeah.
That's another different performances, but still good. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Very
sorry, I
good.
just thought of a really great double feature for you.
What?
Hello, Dolly, and the Goodbye Girl. Hello, goodbye.
Oh, funny.
Unless I'm mistaken, Goodbye Girl is what's her name?
Richard Dreyfuss and Marsha somebody.
Mason. Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, then never mind. Okay, yeah, I guess that would be fine. All these ideas, I got to start writing this stuff down. Yeah, don't hold your breath on the boy in the plastic bubble though, unless it's what you want to watch on your birthday, Boomer.
I don't know, man. I think you still owe me Bad Ronald. We'll see.
I was going to do it, and you changed your mind on that
I
one.
did, because I figured we'll wait on Bad Ronald. Bad Ronald, man, the greatest TV movie of all time. But yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Adam Carolla does a great bit about Bad Ronald.
Adam Carolla does a great bit on just about everything.
Yes, maybe I'll have to send you his thing on.
I'd love to see it.
And without going into too much detail about it right now, because I don't want I'll derail us for another 40 minutes if I do. Yeah. Check out Jamie Kennedy's latest video.
Oh, God, I haven't heard from him in a long time.
Yeah,
Master of Disguise.
Indeed.
Yeah, The Mask.
All right.
Ooh, anyway.
Yeah. Well,
Son of the Mask, yeah.
Son of the Mask, yeah.
Yeah, I'll tell you sometime about the Criminal Minds episode he was on.
Oh, really?
Yes. I'm going to detract this. No, another time. Okay.
Okay. After.
Yes.
Okay.
All righty. Well, folks, I think you have all waited quite long enough, and gang is all here, I believe. So, and nobody's left. So I think we'll get started.
We lost our audience.
No. Come back. I don't want to lose the audience. I love my audience. Okay. No, really,
literally just as we said that, I lost a viewer. I went from 5 viewers to 3. They're literally leaving in droves. Oh my gosh, no.
I have 4.
Well, as long as you are leaving for Cosme, we will
quick, start the episode before you lose more.
Right, exactly.
Yes. In 5, 4, 3, 2. I love you. 1, go.
I was gonna say I've already hit play, so screw you.
Hey.
Oh gosh. Give myself some volume here. There we go. And yes.
Did you know that Flappy had a brief career at Chippendales?
Oh no! What?
Yeah. I don't know. He said he used to tell the ladies, "Do you want the beak or the feathers?" That's what he would say.
Oh my God!
I'm sorry.
Oh, for crying out loud!
Twin Peaks. Not Flappy no more.
I thought for sure you were going to say something like he and Kyle MacLachlan had a 2-person show, Chip and Dale.
Funny, very funny.
Yeah,
I should have thought of that.
He's giving me grief because he didn't think of it. Yeah.
I just want to smell that water. Wow, I bet it's
so along with all of the, as deleted scenes is called, the timey-wiminess, of this show, we also have, it's not as clear as the original series might have been. This is the next day, this is the next day, this is the next day. So right now we're picking up with Richard driving to Miriam Sullivan's, which we left off with, I want to say 2 or 3 episodes ago. And that looks like Boba Fett's car.
Oh, thank you for the Chippendales comment, Mark Malnikoff. I think I stole his thunder with my Mac and Me scene with the kid in the wheelchair flying off into the. Well.
And Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights.
Oh,
welcome. Good to
Hello,
see
Daniel.
you. And everyone, of course, should know Cosme links are pinned at the top if you want to watch the episode along with us.
I think she's full of it. I don't think she told nobody.
I couldn't figure out why I was seeing 2 faces in her door until I realized that's his reflection.
Yeah.
And I will continue with my Richard Harmon impression.
Is he going to try to intercept the letter now? Is that what this is going to be about?
I think it's a little darker than that.
Yeah, I think it's just you done effed up, girl. You think you're safe inside your tin can.
That's a nice plant. Sort of.
Not that anyone's going to be around to water it anymore.
No, that's what the rain is for. Anyway.
Yeah, good point. They are in Washington State, so.
Oh, he knows Chad.
Yeah.
What
do you think of that?
Yeah.
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 Obviously, Chad, Richard, Red, and they're all working together.
All the assholes are like, in cahoots.
Yeah.
Assholes unite and form a tunnel.
Yes.
What's going on here?
Well, there's a candle burning and he's turned on the gas. Which may make it look like an accident,
considering
maybe?
that there's a large gaping hole through her front door and her windows are open, I don't think the gas is really going to build up enough to start a fire.
All it has to do is ignite.
Look who it is.
Yep.
I know. I always look at this guy and I see the prophet.
Yeah,
like,
right.
He's a jerk. Don't want anything to do with him.
The prophet.
He was in
Big Love.
Big Love. So was
okay.
So was the woman who plays Sarah Palmer.
Oh, I was confusing this with the Robert Duvall movie, The Apostle. Okay, when you said that.
And Mark says if she had a gun, she might have been safe.
Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa.
That look on his face, like,
Yeah.
oh, here we go.
Go again. Oh, great. Yeah,
Okay,
what are
his
you
face
going
was
to do, you
disgusting.
hollow
Yes.
bone mother effer?
Because he's been doing that sparkle stuff.
Yeah, I'm deliberately not looking at the screen because I don't want to get sick looking at that face.
But you see the echoes of Shelley's life.
Yeah.
You know, kind of like mother, like daughter here.
I'm surprised it took this long.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
John C. McGinley. Right?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm. How do I get one of those for my house?
Yeah, exactly. In
fact, we've been having mosquito issues too, so yeah, that'd be nice.
I do kind of wish that that Amy Shields had a bigger role in this show, but you know,
Her role is to kill the fly.
that is important. I used to be pretty good at that.
Oh, no, it's not him. Hold on. It's the Oh, I got that totally wrong.
Okay. Now this scene was not improvised, but added to cover up an injury.
Oh, he's
Oh,
actually injured?
Yes. And you're going to see now a reason for it.
Oh my goodness. This is like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yes. A piece of lighting fell and hit him
Ow!
in the face.
Oh, I see.
And
They used it.
So as justification for it, they added this scene.
That's clever. They did that. Oh, I love
It's okay, leave him alone now.
Good Lord.
Hey, it's Dr. Phlox.
Yes.
He always plays a doctor.
I know, right?
He's good at playing a doctor.
Yeah.
How, you're planning a birthday party for 6 months? Dude.
You know, middle-class moms, you know.
They're looking like, okay, he's kind of buff.
Peculiar. Hey, PJ and Maria,
Dougie,
welcome.
get your
Good to
hand
see
off
ya.
the stethoscope and let
Yeah.
the doctor do what he has to do.
Thanks for coming by to say hi, guys. Think Janie's looking a little thirsty, huh?
Hey.
In a good way.
She's just now noticing.
And
That's the first time she's seen him without a
Trouble.
shirt.
Dude, we're neck in trouble.
Man, look at the vein sticking out of
Yeah.
the arm.
Yeah. I know.
Well, when you got someone taking your blood pressure.
Well, my thing is, he's been back, quote unquote, at home for it's got to be a couple of weeks now.
Yeah.
She's never seen him without a shirt until now.
Hmm.
How did he get changed into his pajamas and then back into his clothes? Because it's not like he follows direction very well.
Oh, I
Yep.
love this.
John Billingsley, Dr. Phlox from Star Trek Enterprise. That's right.
Why are you consoling her? I'm the one that got hit. It's like
She feels really, really bad about it.
She could probably defend herself in a fight, though. I'll give that for her, right?
Yeah, if she wasn't thinking about what she was doing.
Now, ordinarily, by now, you would be as dead as Chinese chicken salad, but
Right.
this is a different character.
I like that, the way they said they got Ike, and then on the TV says the Spike Stadler.
He likes to touch things, doesn't he?
Yes. Obviously, he's interested in badges.
The gun did not go off. How did that happen?
Yes, he is.
They thought it was a fake name.
Oh, girl, get over
Jiminy
yourself.
fucking Christmas, girl.
And they're both like, oh, for fuck's sake. And see, what gets me though, and what kind of makes it funny, it's genuine. It's not like she's afraid he's gonna whack her or something. It's just she feels really, really bad about it.
Oh, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Guys, you find yourself a woman that looks at you the way Janie looks at Dougie.
I have been studying Naomi Watts very closely for a couple of decades now. I know when she's hot to trot.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and that is happening right now.
Yep.
And our boy Cooper does not have a fucking clue.
Nope.
And that worries me.
She wants to make a Dougie Jr.
Yeah, kind of.
What about Sonny Jim?
Okay, another Sonny Jim then.
Okay.
Of course you do.
And she just wants, I mean, he just wants to eat his cake.
Is that the cake that she promised him, or is that a different cake?
He just likes sweet stuff, you know. That's the Cooper in him.
Oh my God.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Yeah. All right.
Like his arm.
Well, it's funny because the direction that Lynch gave him was just to be passive, but as she was bouncing, his arms started flapping, and the camera guy's like, "Keep doing that. It's hysterical."
Oh my God. I can't go back to sleep.
He's like, "What's happening?"
Don't open the door.
You'll be traumatized. Yeah.
Oh boy.
I think he likes that better than cake.
Yeah.
Coffee.
She put a smile on his face, that's for sure.
What's going on?
You'll see.
Exactly. I'm on board with that. Yep.
Okay.
Is he wrong?
Yeah. You know, this came out just before it was absolutely relevant, you know?
Yeah. Well, I would also like to take the opportunity to let everyone know that Dr. Lawrence Jacoby will be joining me as a guest on Unscripted this week. I'm kidding. Kidding.
Run, silent, run, drapes.
That looks delicious.
It does. Do you think that Jacoby was supposed to be an analog for Alex Jones or something like that?
I don't know. Well, it's kind of hard to distract myself when all the entertainment sucks. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Or to some degree, maybe what's his name? Peterson. What's his name?
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson, yeah. Clean your room instead of shovel the ship.
No.
But either way.
Or they want to send him to a re-education camp up north.
Yeah.
So now we know Coop's good in bed,
Yeah.
even when he's not trying.
Yeah, just lying there, not doing nothing.
Kwisatz Haderach, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, okay, it worked. He still only has that one suit.
Right.
So if this show taught me anything to please your wife, just say very few words when you're around her.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, just
don't talk.
repeat
Meanwhile-
what's said to you. Yeah.
Jerry has not moved for quite some time.
Jerry, what did you take? I'm wondering if the series will end and the last clip will be him in the woods still. I don't know.
That would be good. Yes. Oh no.
You like Chad? Mad
No.
about town?
No.
You thinking he knows how to play?
Yep.
See, she ain't dumb. She knows something's up.
Why?
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
it's really weird, Sheriff. Chad had to get the mail, and he stuck something in his back pocket. No, I'm kidding. No, I don't know what's going to happen.
She's watching. She's watching.
What's he doing there? See, if he hadn't been acting so weird and just stepped outside,
Thank you.
or he could have just said, "I'm expecting something in the mail," and said, "Is the mail person here yet?" And then he goes out and sits outside, and the guy shows up, and it's fine. But he's acting all suspicious,
Yep.
and Lucy will notice weird stuff. Look at that. What's he stick in his chest? What do you do there? Look at that.
Did you take a letter?
Yep.
Well, he's got the donut part down.
I bet if you go to that sheriff's station, they'll let you take a donut, won't they?
Probably.
Are there any honey glazed, do you think, huh?
Mm. That one on the left could be.
What do you think of this person, Stephen?
I refuse to believe he's a horn.
He got all of his grandfather's evil.
Johnny's
Okay.
alive.
I still want to know why she didn't call the police department.
Mm.
That was one scary looking teddy bear.
I think it's a somewhat repaired Teddy Ruxpin.
If you think about it, how are you today is a very complex question with philosophical underpinnings. Uh-oh.
I mean, you're not wrong.
For
Making
Pete's
Johnny
sake,
mad.
I've hardly
Mhm.
been in this thing.
Hard for someone to talk when you're choking now.
What part of I am not trusting any of the new characters did I not make clear?
Yeah, exactly. I do have to admit that bear is pretty annoying.
And ordinarily, I would say break it, but it's Johnny's.
Right.
I thought for sure he's going to break free and beat the snot out of this guy.
Is that the silver?
Yeah.
Wow. Don't
And
think
I would
she
be calling the
deserved
cops
that.
immediately.
I know.
Oh, turn off that stupid bear.
I know. Yeah, not so good.
Space Needle?
That's what it
Nope.
looks like.
Still in Vegas.
Oh, right.
No.
Little bit of exposition dump. Awkward dialogue.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. What neither of them realizes is he's kind of charmed.
Meanwhile, all right, Albert, why not? Okay.
Yeah. And that's what Cole's saying too.
I think it's cute.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Oh, don't blow it, Albert, please.
And Crystal Bell seems to be the one that's kind of keeping David Lynch
Yeah.
Grounded.
breathing
Yeah.
these days.
All right. I want none of you to summon the devil because I know one of you will fucking do it. Candy? What? What?
Drugged.
Where does he? What? What do you? What? Yeah.
Move that taffeta. Kind of admit that's a great outfit.
Okay.
I like the seam on the back of the stockings.
Okay.
Coming right up.
Come on.
I hope he got compensated for the light falling on him.
Probably.
Look, Belushi, just let me go down there, put two in the back of his head. I'll get that Smalchin to hide the body, and we'll move the fuck on.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, what
Gotta
the
make
heck is
all
she
this
doing?
stuff so difficult for crying out loud.
Yeah, because it's like, what is she doing? All she had to do is take him, bring him back.
Yeah, it kind of does make you wonder what the hell are they talking about?
And they're getting more irritated by the second.
Yeah. It's like, you go get him, bring him back
That's
here.
about. Oh my god! Or what?
No. And you know, I can't help but believe this is kind of a meta reference on how he knows the fans are responding to this show. You know, oh, the pacing, it's so slow.
Okay. Oh boy. Okay, guys, try not to get killed, okay?
You know, and he's it's not his fault because he's kind of like, if I'd have known you wanted me, I'd have come. Not a problem. I'm here to see you.
Okay. Yes. Okay.
That.
Let's put as fine a point on it as we can.
I would choose one of the other girls that kind of has her head screwed on a little bit better.
None of them do. They're all. She's the only one that like responds.
Okay.
Oh boy.
Okay, they got the message, dumbass.
It's like now they're going to put 2 bullets into them or something.
Or something.
When you act like that you get them to start thinking there's more to this than what he's saying. That looks good.
Is that some peach schnapps?
No. Some kind of a whiskey.
Sir, you also got another call earlier. Yeah, what? Dick Laurent is still dead. Shit! Right, click.
Oh, gee.
Seeing there peanuts?
No, I think it's some kind of a tree nut from how loud it's crunching.
He's getting a little angry there.
We probably haven't killed anybody in 30 years. I'm just guessing.
David
back
Lynch.
at the hotel. Yeah. Okay. Oh.
I like how Albert turns her to look. What? What are you looking at?
Uh-huh. Well, yeah.
So they already suspected her and started looking at her phone.
Yep.
She does have a way of walking, doesn't she?
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Why am I suddenly worried we may have to kill Diane?
I can't say nothing.
I'd still call the cop.
I see. All right, well. Sylvia Horn, ladies and gentlemen. Sylvia. Well,
Yeah.
She's got a right to be upset this time.
Yeah, she kind of does.
And quite frankly, last time too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Beverly? Is that the Ashley Judd character?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Good night, Enigma. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Good night.
Rebecca Del Rio, folks.
Is that just supposed to be an homage to the Zaggy floor?
perhaps. But the connection is that Rebecca Del Rio was the singer in Club Silencio in Mulholland Drive who sang Llorando.
There's a a thingy of Hawk in the chat.
Yep. Easy for you to say. Man, that voice. Incidentally, this song was written by David Lynch, John Neff, and Rebecca Del Rio. The pitch correction is an intentional artistic move, kind of like that Cher song "Believe," because the original release version of this song, she just sings it straight. That one was on her album Love Hurts, Love Heals. Anyway, yeah, I kind of get way into the music, I suppose. But there you go. That was episode 10. Pretty straightforward episode, don't you think? I mean, it's as narratives go, it does move. What do you call them? Shoe leather. It progresses.
Yeah.
It progresses the plot. It's mostly logical. Characters do behave in their somewhat, odd ways, but by and large, their motivations make sense. So there you go. And unlike so many of the shows I see on streaming these days, the slower pacing is, in my opinion, a good thing, because this is we're getting story here, right? We're getting the development, we're getting the character, but we're getting a lot of feels, a lot of ambience. That's a big part of this Twin Peaks, right? It's the music, it's the imagery, it's long silences that make you think about what's going on. It's intelligent, I feel, in that regard. Whereas so many other writers are doing it as filler and pretending as if it's intelligent. Maybe that's just my opinion, but I'm sharing it because it's kind of what I'm doing here.
So Dougie now has a couple enemies.
Yeah, and he
got more than a couple, it seems like. Because we have this mysterious Mr. Todd, who's Patrick Fischler's character. He's connected to Sinclair, who's Tom Sizemore, sends him to go and tell the Mitchum brothers that Dougie is the one who's kind of screwing up all their plans. When I kind of get the idea, it's probably Todd. But anyway, yeah, it seems like we've got some kind of, I would say probably some kind of low-level mob war, because I kind of get the idea that these guys think they're like these, major mob guys when they're really kind of nobody, and the real mob doesn't know who they are. That's kind of the idea I'm getting. You know what I mean?
Your assessment isn't wrong. I will give them this, though. If you own a casino, you kind of are someone, but they have kind of romanticized their position, right? It's kind of a commentary on what Las Vegas is as opposed to what it used to be. Excuse me. It used to be big dollars and, big mafioso and huge lounge acts, the Rat Pack and all that kind of stuff. Well,
basically the last 10 minutes of Casino.
Right. And a lot of that is no longer true. And the casinos are less organized crime and more just business.
Yeah.
Big business, to be sure. We're talking huge dollars, wealth. That's still there. But what that allows them to do is play at gangster, right? It's almost like that bit from what was it? the Michael Myers James Bond spoofs.
Austin Powers.
Yeah, the Austin Powers movie, where he's like, $1 million. Your legitimate businesses make billions of dollars every year. And that's kind of where these guys are at. They have these probably approaching billions of dollars, maybe more, that they deal with in their business, so they can play at gangster. They can. I mean, they're probably doing some shady stuff, but not as grandiose as they think. They're playing mobster. But yeah, and I don't want to say too much more about what's coming related to that, because that's kind of part of the fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Yeah.
But I think you've seen the setup, so you could probably imagine. Yeah, they're going after Dougie, but things are probably going to work out okay for Cooper, right? Without him even being aware of what's going on,
Dougie Jones.
Dougie got lucky this week.
Yes, he did.
Very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And Janie seemed to enjoy herself too. So what is the problem, guys? I don't see a problem here.
Well, it'd be okay if they were married. Oh, wait, never mind.
And that's a crucial point. From Janie's perspective, they are married, right?
Yeah.
And so here's where all the controversy came up back when this originally released. It was, Dale didn't give consent, right? He's not able to give consent. And you draw the comparison to someone who's either comatose or autistic or in some other way unable to give consent. Okay, fine. Get all bent out of shape about that. Do you blame Janie? She has no reason to believe that's the case. As far as she's concerned, this is her husband, Dougie. Mm-hmm. And we get the impression, although we haven't seen it, we know it from dialogue from her and from others, that he gets flaky from time to time. So they don't see this as being something very different. We see how he's behaving now compared to the Dale Cooper we knew from 30 years ago. And we see a big difference. They're comparing him to the Dougie Jones they knew a few weeks ago. And apparently they don't see a huge difference here. So any rational person kind of absolves Janie of any wrongdoing here.
Yeah,
she hasn't done anything wrong.
To her, this is life going on as usual.
Right.
Well, except for, little people showing up with awls trying to stab her husband and everything. But, but
honestly,
she's extorting money from them. And other than that, normal.
She's angry about that and all, but she's also clearly aware that her husband was involved in gambling. That leads to these kinds of things. She's dealing with it, So she's not completely clueless on those things. So these things aren't that far beyond the pale for her. Now, from Dale's point of view, he's still caught up half in a dream, right? That's the whole thing. We remember, you almost have to remember weeks ago, as though it was, very recently, Mike saying, just wanted to say hi and have fun. Yeah, we kind of missed you tonight, but I think, Charlotte, you've seen all of this before, right? You've seen season 3 all the way through at least once, right? I think you have. Remember, we had Mike in the lodge trying to get Dale to wake up, telling him, you've got to wake up. So the implication is that he is currently in some sort of a twilight situation where he's not awake, certainly not fully awake. I think that was hinted at with, the way he responds to coffee, right? It gets a reaction out of him, although he's still not completely awake. And we've seen some hints at what he needs to do to wake up. In fact, the log lady just gave us a hint tonight too. And that's going to happen. But in the meantime, and this is where, in the online arguments, people consider this to be blaming the victim. First, you have to accept that he's a victim to be able to make that assessment to begin with. But it's partly his fault. He needs to wake up. And if this is something you want to not have happen, you need to wake up and do something about it. But again, I think anyone who was paying attention to that scene, which I know we all were, he was very much enjoying himself. He did not seem like someone who wanted it to not happen. You can argue that's not consent, but there's also no regrets there either, it seems. Without any giving any spoilers, there is going to be resolution to this whole Dougie Jones Dale Cooper situation, and the way he deals with it, I think pretty much puts to bed, no pun intended, this whole issue of what he feels and thinks about this situation. And spoiler, non-spoiler, Dale didn't really have a problem with it. Certainly holds no regrets or issues or, whatever you want to call it. But I'm guessing that there's, like I said, probably no one here who's I think whining about no consent in this case is just foolishness. Yes, I suspected that most of the people here would feel that way, but I felt like I had to at least address it since it was such a big thing online for a while for a lot of people, and I'm sure that in some circles it still is, but although the joke could be on us, maybe this was exactly the kind of reaction that Lynch wanted to get people talking, and how he would be. Well, that's very interesting that you take that perspective. Whatever you say.
He could never give straight answer.
No, because that's not what he does. If he wanted to give a straight answer, he would have put a straight answer in his piece of art, He's very much the death of the artist kind of guy, right? All my clues are there. Everything I wanted to say directly, I said. Everything I wanted to say indirectly, I said. You take it for what it's worth. Feel free to go.
I'm not going to explain it to you.
Yeah.
You draw whatever conclusions you're going to draw.
And if you think about it, what a gift in a way, right? Because it allows us to participate, not just consume, right?
Well, and everyone's going to look at something different.
I think there's been many times where people sharing their thoughts and opinions have impacted, him and his take on it. He'll never admit it directly, but I believe that's true. That being said, I do feel that there is an element that he is having us on in this season. I can't really go too into that until we get to the end and we're doing our wrap up and retrospective. But I think there's a lot of elements of what I think with a lot of other writers in franchises today, we would call trolling the fans. But the way David Lynch is doing it is in a very
Lynchian way.
Yeah, but I want to be clearer about that. In a very kind of fun way, not a mean-spirited way. And also in a way that doesn't he's got to be true to what his own vision was. He set out to tell a certain story, and he's not going to change it just because that's what the fans want. He's telling a story, and you can enjoy it or not, but it's his story to tell. And that's why this series, this is kind of a sort of minor spoiler, but not enough information to be a true spoiler. That's why this series ends with 2 endings, sort of, if you look at it from a certain point of view.
Don't be spoiling.
Wait, a woo to you, Curtis. What am I missing? I think whining is foolishness. It's good to be Dougie. Yes, it is good to be Dougie. Look, I'll tell you, Janie E. You know, you wake up in someone else's body, so to speak, right? You find yourself married to Janie, and it's like, hello. Hello. Right?
I'm still surprised it took her that long to notice him, because she would have had to have been the one that was dressing and undressing him.
I think it's impressive she finally did notice. Think about how pissed she's had to have been at him. She knows he's been cheating on her and gambling and losing money and, you know, causing all these problems. And, you know, many women would have just said, I'm done, and left him. So the fact that she could at some point stop and look at him that way and go, you know, you also have to wonder if she's responding to the Dale in him, right? Because he's not Dougie, right? Everyone's calling him Dougie. Everyone sees him as Dougie. Everyone assumes he's Dougie, but he's not. He's Dale.
She had a little Dale in her, that's for sure.
Yes.
This is not my beautiful wife. Water flowing underground. Yeah, exactly. Same as it ever was.
Yeah,
Same as it ever was.
that's basically the plot of the Dougie show. That's the song.
Yeah.
Explains it
Yeah.
right there.
And you may ask yourself, what does this have to do with Laura Palmer?
They're gonna ask you, so how did I get here? But
Yeah.
It's got
It was
everything in
obvious
the world to do with
what
Laura
was going
Palmer.
to happen the way she was looking at him. Same as it ever was. Yeah. I'll tell you. Yeah, that's a look, right? So you get the implication of some real steaminess, right? You get the bare back, right? You don't get the R-rated but that's okay, because that smolder look she gives him that keeps it in the PG-13 range, but the adults are looking at that and seeing a pure R.
They're seeing something.
I'm going to assume it was bareback. They are a married couple, right?
Yeah.
Well, and see, the other thing too is I'm not anticipating there being a 4th season, but if there was, you never know. you might find out later that Janie does have a little Dougie on the way. Back alone was pretty sweet. That's true. That was bareback enough, right?
A possible fourth season. I don't know, because here's the thing. You seem to have actors who are saying, no, we said our piece with season 3. I'm also hearing a couple of people are down with it. So, I mean, I don't know.
I think you also
I
have
don't
to
know.
look at.
I'd have to wait and see until the end if I think it's.
I would read nothing into
past
anything
this.
that the actors say. The actors are, they're a troupe, right? They really are. And you could see it in the way they responded to what was going on in the lead up to season 3. The whole no Twin Peaks without David Lynch movement, right? They're a team. And they basically said, if David's not involved, I'm not involved. But as I always say about working actors, they're not going to pass up an opportunity to work, to make money, right? But this is very much a team effort. They will be there for David. And if David decides to do it, I have no doubt that those that he wants back and those that can be back will be back. So I don't think that's where we want to look for any hints if there's going to be a fourth season. I think it's does David want to do it, and is his health going to allow him to? And yeah, I want to pause so that we can say hello to Rod Underheart. Welcome, my friend. So glad you're here.
Well, here's. And I am just throwing this out there. Does Mark Frost inspire the same loyalty with the cast?
I don't know. And I don't know if Mark would have any inclination to do it without David. See, that's the other side of it, right?
Yeah.
Could be. But I also feel like Mark is the type that if there was more story to tell and he was given the latitude to do it, he'd just write another book. I don't think he would pull the team together and make another series or another movie or something like that.
Okay. I heard a rumor that Flappy and Sylvester Stallone didn't like each other. Flappy blames Stallone for not getting the role of the villain in Cliffhanger.
Yeah, no, that happened. Yeah. I didn't want to bring it up because I don't mean to cast aspersions on Sly, but yeah, I think, I mean, Lithgow, yeah, but I mean, come on, Flappy would have nailed it, and I'm a little upset about that.
I think Christopher Walken had something to do with it too, but that's kind of here nor that's a behind the scenes kind of thing.
Yeah. I hate that they were so good together in the comedy Oscar.
Yeah,
we needed that bunny to just attack the guy with the gun and like start ripping pieces out of his throat. You know, killer bunny.
Yeah. And actually, you know, I think there was also some beef between Flappy and Detective Whiskers over there in the Last Action Hero, so that was a problem too. He had enemies on just about every set, so I think that was a big part of the downfall of his career.
He was a passionate bird. He had many appetites. Some of them weren't always the healthiest, but
that's absolutely true.
He lived his life by his own rules, and I have to respect that.
Flappy flew over my Walgreens, and what did he say? Cheap. Yeah.
Okay, enough of this. All right, I don't like this disrespect.
I think this is more Mark being disrespectful of Walgreens than he is of Flappy.
Then I will refrain from telling the Jar Jar Binks story. I think it's probably best if we
the Jar Jar Binks story.
We leave.
Does it have something to do with Flappy too?
To the probably best left.
Okay.
unsaid. I understand that originally the Gungans were meant to be a bird-like race.
Oh,
And
God.
yeah, and that Flappy actually did shoot for 2 days on the Phantom Menace, and was unceremoniously removed from the set.
Here's what happened.
Okay.
He complained to George about the incessant green screen. He said he didn't like the fact that go pretend this garbage can is Natalie Portman. We'll fill her in later. He wasn't about that, and it's, this is ridiculous. He's a method actor. He didn't like this nonsense with all the CG creatures. You have real. Use real actors. None of this nonsense. He was done. He kept fighting him creatively. He also said, maybe not have a young Anakin in your first movie. Maybe that's not the best call to make. But he just George has his own way of doing things, and it's fine until he sells the rights to those things and doesn't care anymore. But yeah, and it's fine.
You guys are nuts. But obviously, any talk of season 4, we got to at least wait till we get to the end of this season, because, I think we're going to need to talk about where we think the story would have gone or would still go or whatever. And that might speak to whether or not we even think there should be a season 4. But
what do you think of Chad in this episode? Got some screen time, huh?
Well, I'm just glad. Yeah. I'm just glad he didn't say anything terribly rude to Lucy. Because it really did seem like, when she kind of goes off on her tangent and whatnot, he was losing his patience, but he didn't say anything. I'm not going to say that's to his credit, but at least I don't, want to punch his face in any more this week than I did before.
No, he was accessory after the fact this time.
True.
And all he knows is, hey, intercept the letter.
Yeah.
Which he did. He doesn't know the who's, the what's, the why's. Just get the letter. Which
just
he did.
Intercept the letter.
Yep.
And just remember, this is and just like in the original Twin Peaks, we're seeing that the negative elements in the town, almost all of them have something to do with the drug trade. You see it with Chad, you see it with Richard. Who else?
Well, Red's obviously up to his neck in this.
Right.
Reno's obviously. So, yeah. Yeah.
And
there's still a drug problem in Twin Peaks.
Right. And of course you have Stephen and Becky that are in a lot of ways echoes of Leo and Shelley. Maybe Bobby and Shelley. Yeah, I mean, he's not together enough to be like Leo. But he's that kind of abusive. But he is like Bobby in that he's, become dependent on a drug and, making bad decisions as a result. He's probably worse off than Bobby was too. Bobby very quickly started getting himself together after Laura died. In fact, I would argue that it was Laura's death and the events that led up to Laura's death, right? The shooting the guy in the woods and all that kind of stuff. this all kind of culminates to, I got to get my stuff together, right?
Mhm.
He fixates on Shelley, like Shelley's in an abusive relationship. I can help her, get her away from Leo, take care of her, and so forth. You don't see him doing drugs anymore after that point. He goes and he tries to get a legitimate job with Ben Horn, right?
Mhm.
And obviously he and Shelley end up, having a daughter together. Unfortunately, that daughter ends up in her mother's kind of cycle. These kinds of things happen. Anyway, so there you go.
Yeah, well, there were definitely some characters this week, Curtis, that I would have punched over Chad.
Oh, did you like the domestic abuse thing happening across the street from? Remember that the?
Oh
yeah.
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 You just talked about that. I'm sorry.
That. Yeah,
exactly.
And then there was Mr. Horn's ex-wife yelling at him on the phone.
Yeah. See, that's the other thing too. You have to imply what's going on with their relationship because they never expressly say it, right? So you've got to assume that they're not together. And
yeah.
In fact, it's interesting because you see that Ben, he's trying to be good. He's not carrying on some affair or anything, even though if there was ever a point in his life where he could almost justify it, it seems like now would be that time. And yet at the same time, we only ever see him at the Great Northern. He seems to never leave there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now that we know that he's split up from his wife,
maybe he doesn't leave.
Yeah, it's all about his work, And
this is just me, kind of a sidebar from that. Have we seen more of Sylvia and Johnny in this season than we did in the entire series up to now? I think we have.
Possibly, yes. Yeah. One other thing I was just thinking about in regards to Ben is this narrative element of only seeing him in the Great Northern, right? Like someone who's married to his work, a workaholic, his work is his life. He's trapped. And I think this concept of people being trapped is a recurring notion that you're going to see. We've actually seen it throughout all the seasons of Twin Peaks, but I think it gets much more of a fine point in the return. And there's a bunch of characters that we've seen but haven't seen in a while. We'll be coming back to. Don't forget that Big Ed is still out there, and Norma and whatnot. And yeah, I don't want to give anything away, but they'll be back. They'll be back. We'll be revisiting them.
And there is a character who I know has a scene in the trailer for the show, and that scene has not come up yet. So
true.
I'm kind of curious to see what that's about.
Yeah.
There's a few people. Where's Audrey? I know she's in this. Yep. What episode she shows up in? Obviously, I don't know, having not seen it. I got to assume probably sometime in probably the next 1 or 2 episodes. I got to think she's going to show up.
When she does show up, it is a big deal.
Oh, I would think.
Big deal.
Audrey's got to
can't-
make a big entrance here.
I am going to tell you that a number of characters that we've seen already will be returning next week, and one character whom we have not seen this season yet makes a return.
Intriguing.
I think if I remember this next episode correctly, Jim Belushi has some of his best scenes in the next episode.
Oh, I gotta think.
Yeah.
He probably had a blast with this, I'll bet.
I think he did. He did. He plays it like he really enjoyed himself.
Dougie is his arch enemy now.
You know, it's funny because Jim Belushi playing this role, you know, I think a lot of especially a lot of the actors that we've seen where you've been surprised that they're in this, you know, probably did this and we're like, I don't know what the hell's going on here. Whereas Jim Belushi's like, oh, this is brilliant. I got this. Yeah. No, I don't even need to understand. I get what I need to get. We're good.
Well, he's interesting. He's an interesting piece of casting because, you know, he was in, like I said, one of the shows that, you know, were kind of Twin Peaks wannabes, or Twin Peaks adjacent, Wild Palms.
Yep.
Which was another brain teaser of a show that kind of deserved to go a little bit longer than it did. So I think he gets it. You know,
yep.
he's kind of a cross between his character in Wild Palms, which I got to think is on purpose, and also his character in Destiny Turns On to Radio.
Okay, I can see
which
that.
I don't know if you recall that film or not, but
I was seeing some elements of his character from, of all things, About Last Night. You know, the same guy that would like, you know, go and tell the story about this girl and, you know, and take me now for the love of Christ. And I just said, fuck this shit. Oh gosh, I love that movie. I really, really did. I'm assuming you've seen About Last Night.
It's been a while, but yeah.
Okay, yeah. I remember, well, maybe because I saw it so many times, but I could almost recite that movie to you. I love Belushi's character in that one. And there are little elements of that I see in here. He plays like he's serious, but there's that silliness right behind it. And that actually becomes important in next episode. You'll see a lot more of that. It's why things play out the way they do. Again, I do have to call out the whole Dr. Amp thing. You know, very, like I said, Jordan Peterson, Alex Jones. This was 2 years before the coup. And he's calling out some things that there's no way they could have known about at that time. You know, it's like, you know, these things don't happen in a vacuum. So yeah, this was a little bit prescient and it ages well. It really does.
And I'm trying to think we missed anything else.
I didn't see Flappy in this one.
No.
Flappy's not coming back. He's
I know he could have been in that scene with Jerry in the woods, but he chose not to.
No, Flappy's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of his son, Flappy
You
Jr.
said they took him to a farm.
Yeah, exactly.
I told you Flappy Jr. ended up as a 2-piece and a biscuit at a Roy Rogers franchise restaurant.
That's right.
I have on good authority that happened. And all of his other kids, they changed their last name. They want nothing to do with him. They've disowned him. He was kind of a cad. I'll say this. That's what I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But who are we to judge, right? Are any of us perfect? I mean, I don't think so. I mean, this is ridiculous. Soiled reputation. Trying to think what else going on. I think we covered everything. Yeah,
I think we did.
I do like the Dougie's coworker stabbing in the back though, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I got the feeling he's going to get his.
Yeah, and we kind of saw it coming. We've seen it building,
Yeah.
And again, this is one of those. I'm going to just say this is some brilliant storytelling because you have to imply so much. It's like we know what's going on without knowing what's going on, right? Just by Dougie's non-behavior, but people's reactions and assumptions and whatnot. You see them projecting stuff on him that he's unaware of completely. So they're kind of, filling in some of the blanks for us as they react to Dougie. Yeah, very interesting way to tell a story. I'm having fun with that. That's episode 10, though, guys.
How many left?
I don't remember. Let me take a look.
8, I believe.
All right.
Total of 18. Yeah, I think you're right.
We got I'm waiting for. Well, I can't say nothing. I always want to say what I'm waiting for, but I can't say nothing.
Yeah, no spoilers. No spoilers. Yeah, 18 is the last one. 18. Wow, 18 is the big one.
But anything left to say about Diane?
Yeah, that's got me worried now. She's the wild card. I don't know where they're going with her because she's totally not the character that I pictured.
Don't say anything, Boomer. There's nothing that you can say that won't be a spoiler.
All right, I'll wait. It's ridiculous.
I know, because we're busting at the seams here. This is a lot of fun for me, knowing what's coming up, and I knew this was going to be the case. When Deleted Scenes said, I haven't seen this before, I'm going to watch it for the first time with you guys, and I said I'll be able to vicariously, enjoy his reactions. It's so good because he's so keyed in, and it's like, I want to tell you.
I
You
know.
kind of already know. Oh, but I can't.
Yeah, I might have a few things figured out, but I don't know. There were a couple of things in this episode that had me thinking maybe I'm not as correct as I thought I was. We see,
I think
we
a lot
seem
of
to-
these things.
we seem
Huh?
to be going down a certain road.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing some potential roadblocks and roadblocks coming from people I wasn't expecting. And that's got me worried. This is not going to end with everybody on their feet, folks. I get that. I always suspected that, but I got a bad feeling we're going to lose some OGs here, and that's going to be tough if that happens. But you know,
dude, I will
see.
give you this. We're gonna lose some characters, but not in the way you think. In the sense of what the hell happened to them is how we're gonna lose them. Yeah. I won't say any more than that. You chew on that one for a little bit.
Well, we've already kind of gone there in a sense, with certainly with Major Briggs, but
true.
Which I mean, they kind of had to,
there
is
the meta element where when
the
the actors die, they kind of do have to give you some kind of resolution for the character.
Yeah. We were, Paul Harrell, I was not familiar with him, but I was aware of people who knew him, and he's a 2A guy. He's been sick for a while. He passed away, I guess, overnight. Even though I guess he still did he put a video out today that like premiered like while we've been doing the show. So, I mean, yeah, it was not unexpected, his passing, but it was, I guess, well, I mean, the title of the video he just put out will say it all. Yeah. I did know him. I hadn't seen his channel. I wasn't aware of him, but it turns out I did follow some people who followed him. So, rest in peace, sir. Obviously, condolences to his family and friends, and the 2A community. Lost a good man today. So, keep him in mind. Yeah, we're we're watching this show. We're talking about losing original characters. We're talking about the actors who appeared to have passed away. Here in our own community, we've lost a few of our own OGs of late, and I gotta be honest, it's kind of gotten to me a bit, and it's got me thinking a lot about my own mortality. And I don't like doing that because that puts me in kind of a mood that it's kind of difficult for me to pull myself out of, and that's mostly what my unscripted ended up being about on Sunday, and what up to a point next week will too. But life is short. In comparison to this planet, to the universe, it's a millisecond that we're here. So, keep the ones you love close, man. That's about the best thing that I can say.
Yep.
I guess on that note, yeah.
Yeah. Boomer, what do you have coming up?
I'm gonna be on the Friday stream, Last Call, with Troy Pacelli here. We're gonna talk about attacking the fans for for failures of sales of entertainment items like movies and video games, and how it's the fans' fault. It's the customer's fault. And then on Sunday we'll be doing Geeky Geezers, where we have some more Concord news, which is interesting.
Yeah.
I keep, whenever I hear Concord, I think of, what is it, Airport 3 or 4, the Concord, or was it Airport 79, the Concord?
Concord Airport 79. Yeah.
Yep.
Remember that one with the
I
new
do. The super sound.
yeah. George Kennedy was in that too, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he
George
was.
Kennedy,
yeah.
He said
He
to
was,
the ones.
Yeah,
go ahead.
He was the character that I think was pretty much in all of them. I think, wasn't he?
Yes, he tells one of the stewardesses, they don't call this the cockpit for nothing.
Yeah,
real
got
bad.
away with that line.
Like I said, I want to see that made-for-TV movie with him and the rabid skunk. I know it's out there. I just, come on, Arrow Video, put that on Blu-ray. Come on.
I'm drawing a blank on that one. Okay,
I'll find out
anybody, George Kennedy and Rabid Skunk, somebody give me a title, please. I need a visual. Give me eyes.
Hold on, I'll find the name of it.
All right. In the meantime,
A Cry in the Wilderness, 1974 TV movie. Farmer bitten by a rabid skunk who chains himself to a barn to protect his family. Oh, so I guess he was rabid too, and he was afraid he was going to attack his. I need to see this.
Okay.
Oh.
Wow. Oh boy. Okay, never.
Okay. Let's see. Thursday, over on Thursday, things my special guest will be Mr. Landau's Groovy Movies. And then, of course, I'll be co-hosting on Friday Night Last Call. And this week is Big Al, isn't it, sweetie?
Yes, this week is Big Al. It's let me look at my calendar. It's Little Shop of Horrors.
Right.
Nice.
I kept thinking of something summary. Okay, so we got that. Then let's see, that's Saturday. Sunday, I'm not on anything. Monday, I'll be co-hosting on Last Call Monday Night the Movies. Did I get the name right this time?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then Tuesday, right back here again for another episode of Sparkwood and 21.
All right.
That's pretty much all I got going on.
So by this point, y'all know about Friday night Last Call, scapegoating as a strategy. Spoiler, it doesn't work. It just makes people mad and drives them away. And the Monday night at the movies double feature on Monday will be the Terminator and Terminator 2, hopefully with special guest Sin's Corner. Gotta verify with her. She said she might be running late. That's always a possibility, but
I'm actually going to be partly responsible for her lateness as that show will also fall on Mystery Movie Night. And of course, as everyone knows, Sin and I co-host the Mystery Movie Night podcast, and which we will be moving to Tuesday so that Sin can go on to Last Call. But unfortunately, the movie will probably go over a little bit. So we will see, because if the runtime is correct, it would be getting out just before Last Call gets started. So we will see. Of course, don't know what that movie is yet, but we'll be seeing it on Monday, reviewing it on Tuesday. So we will be back.
There you go. So, but the reason for the double
please.
feature of Terminator and Terminator 2 on Monday is because on Tuesday afternoon, I will be, and I believe that's like 4:30 Central or something like that, like 5:30 Eastern. Talk Hard on Pop's channel. We will be talking about Terminator. So I figured, and he's invited me as a guest. So I figured, I'll have been fresh with it, and all you guys could watch the movie with me, and then hear what we have to say about it the following day over on Pop's channel. And of course, that kind of leads into live from Sparkwood in 21. And I was originally going to be starting my my Blake 7 rewatch next week, but I think I'm going to push that until the 17th, just because I think I've already got too much squeezed into next week with Talk Hard about Terminator, and then I'll just look forward to Blake 7 probably starting on the 17th. That catches us up.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm muted. All right, that brings things around to myself. Thursday at 4:30, I am going to be joining Outlaw Bill for Action Theater, and we are going to be watching from 1964 Sean Connery as James Bond 007 in Goldfinger.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let's see. Saturday, if all goes well on my end of things, I'm going to be joining the gang over at Pop Culture Minefield for a discussion about John Carpenter's Big Trouble in Little China.
Oh, that's a classic.
And that would be at 4 p.m. Eastern. Of course, later on that night, I will most likely be there for Retro Cinema in the chat. And then a few rounds of after-hours karaoke over on Bill's channel. A broadcast will most likely be demonetized within about 5 minutes, because that's how YouTube rolls. And on over to Sunday, which is, of course, as Troy says, that's the big day. All deleted all day. And I'll be joining Bill again for a simulcast of Western Cinema Presents. And this is a special one. This is the one that everybody has been waiting for, the 50th anniversary edition of Blazing Saddles, a much requested film. We wanted to wait until a special time. This weekend is the 50th anniversary. No time like the present. So join us Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Blazing Saddles. Later on that night will be my show Unscripted at 8 p.m. Episode 78, entitled Lost in the Shadows. And YouTube is not going to like this episode because I got a few choice words about some of their practices of light, like people getting strikes that they shouldn't be getting, and maybe some shadow banning that I think's been going on some channels, including mine. So yeah, we're going to be talking about that. Then, of course, 9 o'clock over on Boomer's channel, Geeky Geezers. And I don't know if I'm going to do the midnight show this week or not. Stay tuned. I don't have any guests lined up just yet, but stay tuned. And to the community page, please. I have a community page. It's a nice page. please look at it.
Yes.
Like,
Community pages, yeah.
yes. It's anyway. And as I said, of course, the Mystery Movie Night podcast with myself and Sin's Corner will be Tuesday at 7 p.m. So that we can wrap up in time for me to be here for part 11 of Twin Peaks to Return. So, okay. And that's my week. And of course, stay tuned for any updates. I might record an extra video or two along the way. So keep an eye out, and I will be around. All right. Somebody tell a joke. Two flappies walked into a bar. No.
What did the
Clunk.
what? I was gonna say.
They walked into a bar, clunk.
Yeah, exactly.
What did the one sarcophagus say to the other sarcophagus?
What?
What?
Is that you coughing? You don't like that one? No. Okay.
What does a mummy have in common with lemonade that has no sugar?
I don't know.
Sour cough, I guess.
Oh, I think it's time to let these good people off the hook.
Yeah.
And as Andre always says, and with that,
Yeah.
ordinarily we would be sending you over to 32 Flavors of Nick Weiser for Toxic Tuesday. However, they had to push things back a week over there, and Toxic Tuesday will return next week with Fast Times at Ridgemont High. Yes.
Phoebe Cates' best movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
There's that Criterion put out a great edition of that. It's even got like different cuts of it, like the television cut and stuff. Yeah.
Nice.
Where they added different scenes.
Okay.
In fact, Jennifer Jason Leigh, right? She's in that. And
Mhm.
she's in
Yes, she is.
Twin Peaks
Indeed.
Return. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, she is. Yeah.
All right. So, any last words before we wrap it up?
Yes, I do, but it would be a spoiler, so I can't.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't need him. Boomer, any last words?
No, just more to come. More to come with Chad too. So you'll have more to look forward to that. You like Chad? He's so awful. I'm sorry.
I want to see him married off to someone named Karen.
We probably will.
Yeah.
Can we wrap up that flappy two-piece and go? All right. Nutter, I'm sure everybody would like to hear your outro.
If you're sure.
Yeah.
Well, y'all know what I always say. First, please make sure that you are sub to every member of the panel as well as every member of the chat. And if you think you're sub, please go back and double check you're still sub because YouTube.
Yeah.
And with that said, we can talk amongst ourselves. And that's all well good and fun. I mean, Troy's really good at running the conversation, especially when it comes to Twin Peaks or Star Wars. But, you know, it's so much more fun when you guys are joining us in the chat. You know, drop in comments, questions, trivia, being goofy, whatever it may be. And it doesn't feel like we're separated by miles or continents in some cases. It feels like we're all hanging out in the same room, enjoying each other's company and having a great time. And you guys, you know, you're not just our friends. You are our family. Excuse me. We love you guys and we appreciate you so very much. You can be anywhere right now and you're here. And that means so much. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being a part of our family. I hope to see you on Thursday Things with my special guest, Mr. Londell's Groovy Movies. And until then, Good night and God bless.
All right. And as I always say, thank you all once again for joining us. Those of you who joined us on Cosme live here in the chat and on Twitter, I can't see you, but I know that you're there. From HQ and all points north, south, east, west, and beyond, good night, take care, stay strong, because this is how we win.
Future war is past.
Hallo, hier ist Klofeld.
Ha 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 ha!